Hi, everybody. Welcome to Storytime. How are you all doing? Are y'all ready for our little spooky, exciting Halloween themed story today? I am. What's going on? Welcome to all my new friends and all my old friends that join me every week. I love you all. As you can see, today is pre-recorded, but that's all right. We're going to have a great story for you. And I have a special guest waiting backstage to come out and talk to you and read you an awesome story. So I'm not going to be reading a story today, but my friend will be, and I think you're going to really enjoy this. So please make sure you share this with everybody you can. Let's blast it on all these Facebook pages. Tell your friends. And if you miss this story, it's okay. It's going to be on YouTube and Facebook even after we're done, so you can join in. I hope you're all being safe and washing your hands and social distancing and all that stuff. And of course, as always, we want to get back together again real soon. But for now, we're going to keep it social. We're going to keep it social distancing, right? And my friend backstage, y'all, this is Miss Cherilyn Mathews. Many of you have met her. She's our Miss Rose Dynasty 2020. And even in the midst of pandemic, she has been rock starring it out and doing some great events with us. So I'm excited about this. And coming up, y'all, on October 30th, we're doing another paint night. Do y'all remember the last two that we did? We painted some really cool things. We're doing another one on Friday night, October 30th. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Are you ready to say hi to our friend? You ready for me to bring them on? I know I am. All right, let's welcome Miss Cherilyn Mathews. Hi, how are you?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Look at you. And who are you dressed as today?
I am dressed as everybody's favorite witch. I'm Mary Sanderson.
Oh my goodness. I love it. You look great. That hair is so tall.
It is so tall. I'm trying to figure out how to fit it into the camera screen.
You're doing well. You're doing well. And I see you have a jack-o'-lantern behind you.
I do. I have my friend. It's the Great Pumpkin.
The Great Pumpkin. I hear that's a great story.
It is a great story. It's actually one of my favorites.
And you're going to read that to everyone today.
That's what I'm
excited. Look at you.
I just wanted to tell everybody, I hope they're going to have a fun and safe Halloween. Before we get started, I know you're probably all going to watch this when it comes on TV because it comes on every year. But I want to read the story because it's one of my all-time favorites.
I'm so glad you're reading this for us today. I love it when you're on with me. I love everything you're doing, and you're representing Rose Dynasty so awesome. And I'm glad to call you a friend and a sister.
I know, right?
And tonight, you're more than just a sister. You're a real Sanderson sister. I love it. Stop! And me, I decided I was just going to dress up in fun colors and clowny.
Well, I love it. It's very festive and very Halloween-y.
I'm like, ooh, I'm a big clown. We're all clowns in our own way, right?
Right.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to drop off here and let you read the story to our friends. And I'll see you soon.
Let's do it.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy, everybody.
All right, guys. Let's jump right into it. So today we are reading It's the Great Pumplin Charlie Brown by Charles M. Schulz, which is very close to my real last name, but I don't have any of his money. All right. So we're going to jump in. I'm trying to make it spooky because it's Halloween. Oh my gosh. There's so many like intro pages. Here we go. Oh. It was a special time of year. The air even felt brisk and cool. The colorful leaves fell from the trees. The pumpkins were ready to be picked. It was fall, and for Linus, Lucy, Snoopy, and Charlie Brown, that meant Halloween was almost here. And it is almost here. It's only a couple of days away. Let's see. Let's see if I can get the pictures up so you guys can see. Whoop, this way. There they all are. Looking at the leaves, the pumpkins. Right. It also meant football. One afternoon, Lucy approached Charlie Brown. I'll hold the ball, and you come running and kick it, she said sweetly. We know Lucy. She's so sweet. But Charlie Brown shook his head. He knew what Lucy was up to. You just want me to come running up to kick that ball so you can pull it away and see me land flat on my back. This time you can trust me, Lucy said. She held out a piece of paper. See, here's a signed document testifying that I promised not to pull it away. He felt excited. This year, he was really going to kick that football. Charlie Brown got a running start, but as usual, Lucy pulled the ball away as he got close. Ah! Cried Charlie Brown as he flew into the air. Peculiar thing about this document, said Lucy. It was never notarized. Lucy is always one step ahead of Charlie Brown. Always. She gets him always. Meanwhile, Linus was busy with his own fall tradition. He was writing his annual letter to the Great Pumpkin. Dear Great Pumpkin, Linus began, I am looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents. Charlie Brown was curious. Who are you writing to? He said. Linus smiled, and then he explained. This is the one time of year to write to the Great Pumpkin. This bad boy back here. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with a bag of toys for all the children. Charlie Brown just shook his head as he walked away. Even Snoopy laughed as he walked by. And there's Linus there writing his letter to the Great Pumpkin. So I don't think Charlie Brown believes him very well. Linus kept on writing. Soon his sister, Lucy, came by. Not again, Lucy complained over her shoulder, writing a letter to a pumpkin. You make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood. But Linus still wrote, everyone tells me you are a fake, but I believe in you. You can kind of see the family resemblance in these two. A little while later, Sally walked over. She wanted to know what Linus was doing. Linus told her all about the Great Pumpkin. Would you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin? I'd love to, Linus, said Sally. I think Sally's got a little bit of a crush on Linus. See the little hearts the hearts up here? I think she might like him a little bit. Right. Finally, Linus was finished writing his letter. And how do you think you're going to mail that letter? Lucy asked. You can't possibly reach the mailbox, and I'm not going to help you. But Linus had an idea. He used his blanket like a lasso to open the mailbox. Then he tossed the letter in. Nothing could stop him from sending his letter to the Great Pumpkin. Look at that. He whipped that door open so fast, she didn't know what hit her. As Linus went proudly back inside, Charlie Brown came running up to Lucy. I got an invitation to a Halloween party, Charlie Brown told her. He did a happy dance. It's the first time I've ever been invited to a party. Lucy frowned. If you got an invitation, it was a mistake. There were two lists, one to invite and one not to invite. You must have been put on the wrong list. But Charlie Brown didn't care what Lucy said. He had his invitation and he was going to that Halloween party. I feel like Lucy might be a little bit of a grumpy puss. Maybe. But look how happy Charlie Brown is. Honey, he is dancing through them shoes. Right. Soon it was Halloween night. The kids all changed into their costumes for trick-or-treating. Lucy was a witch. Sally was a ghost. She was afraid of her own costume. Charlie Brown was also a ghost, but he had a little trouble with the scissors. Pigpen was a ghost, a very dirty ghost. Even Snoopy had dressed up. He was a World War I flying ace. Now I've heard everything, exclaimed Lucy. So let's see if we can guess who everybody is. Okay, so let me go back over here. There's Snoopy, obviously. I'm going to guess this dirty fellow right here is probably Pigpen. I think the witch was Lucy. And this holy thing looks like Swiss cheese. That's Charlie Brown, for sure. For sure. Whew. As Snoopy marched in a different direction, the little group hurried off to start trick-or-treating. They soon ran into Linus in the pumpkin patch. Have you come to sing pumpkin carols? He asked them. You're going to miss all the fun, just like last year, Lucy told him. But Linus didn't care. He knew the Great Pumpkin was on its way to the pumpkin patch. You really think he'll come? Sally asked. As everyone left to go trick-or-treating, she was torn. Should she go with them or should she stay with Linus? They all went out there to visit him, but look at Sally. Sally's at the end. She's like, should I stay? Should I go? I don't know. Maybe I'll stay. But I do like candy. Let's see what she does. If I can get the page turned. They're sticking together. Sally decided to stay. I'm glad, said Linus. You'll see the Great Pumpkin with your own eyes. Each year, the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. I don't see how a pumpkin patch could be any more sincere than this one. Look how happy they are sitting in that pumpkin patch. Oh. Ecstatic. Just sitting in the dark in a pumpkin patch. All right. Meanwhile, the other kids had arrived at their first house of the night. Trick or treat, they cried. One by one, candy was thrown into their bags. Can I have an extra piece of candy for my brother? Lucy asked. He couldn't come with us because he's sitting in a pumpkin patch waiting for the Great Pumpkin. I think Lucy is getting quite enough candy. You see how much candy she's getting? She's got more than enough to share. But check everybody out. Look at Charlie Brown. Wait, there he is. There's Charlie. At least his is ventilated. He'll get some airflow. The kids compared what they got. I've got 5 pieces of candy, said Lucy. I got a chocolate bar, says Violet. I got a quarter, said Schroeder. I got a rock, said Charlie Brown. Soon everyone's bags were filled with candy, except Charlie Brown's. His bag was filled with rocks. But he didn't let that get him down. It was time to go to that Halloween party. There they all are, just sitting there comparing what they got. And poor Charlie with his bag of rocks. Every year, bag of rocks. All right. On the way, Violet wondered where Snoopy, the World War I flying ace, had gone. He's probably getting ready to take off the next dawn patrol, asked Charlie Brown. Soon the group passed by the pumpkin patch. Has the Great Pumpkin been by? Taunted Violet. You think you're so smart, Sally called as the laughing group continued along. He'll be here. You can bet on that. Look at this. I think Sally's fed up. She's looking a little peeved. But I think we can all get that way sometimes, right? Because she's trying to be supportive of her friend. He's really waiting on that Great Pumpkin. Sally turned to Linus. All right, where is he? He'll be here, Linus assured her. I hope so, said Sally. Just think of all the fun that we're missing. right now. So I think Sally is starting to catch on that this pumpkin might not be showing up. She does not look like a happy person right now. She's probably upset about the candy situation. Across town, the Halloween party was in full swing. There were games and music and pumpkins to decorate. Violet, Patty, and Lucy wanted to draw the perfect face on their pumpkin. But how would they know what to draw on it? "You'll have to model for us," Violet told Charlie Brown. "You're the perfect model," said Patty. Charlie Brown felt honored. He sat down on a stool. Violet turned him around. That's when he realized that they wanted to use the back of his head to model for their pumpkin. Look at these girls drawing on Charlie Brown. Drawing right on the back of his head. But in all fairness, the girls weren't wrong. Charlie is kind of a little round-headed boy, so they could come up with the perfect design. He should just be happy he could help them out. All right. Next, it was time to bob for apples. Have you guys ever bobbed for apples? Oh, it's so much fun. You get a little wet, but it's a good time. Lucy went first. This is the way to do it. She stuck her head in the barrel and came up with an apple and Snoopy attached to it. "Blech!" she cried. "My lips touched a dog's lips." It's not that bad. Sometimes puppy kisses are really cute. But apparently Lucy's not a fan. So she pulled that apple out, but she got a little extra. Snoopy danced along while Schroeder played the piano. Then he figured it was time to continue on his journey. As the World War I flying ace, he sniffed his way all the way to the pumpkin patch. So something's taking Snoopy, there he is, all the way over to the pumpkin patch. Something's bringing him out there. Sidebar, when I was little, I had a stuffed Snoopy and it was my favorite. I still have him somewhere, but I just don't know where he's at right now. But he's not lost. I'm in all faith that he's not lost. Sally was just about fed up. Where was the Great Pumpkin? Linus tried to reassure her. "Just think, Sally. When the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch, we'll be here to see it." All of a sudden, Linus heard a noise. "What's that?" he asked. He watched as a dark figure appeared in the pumpkin patch. "There he is. It's the Great Pumpkin," Linus shouted. He was so excited that he fainted. This picture was taken right before he fainted. So look at that dark shadow. Doesn't that dark shadow look a little familiar? But look, there's Sally and Linus right here. I'm not getting used to this backwards thing. But look, he's so excited. And then right after this photo was taken, he passed out. We're getting close to the end. I'm excited to see what happens. When Linus awoke, Sally was waiting for him. "What happened?" Linus asked. "What did the Great Pumpkin leave us? Did he leave us any toys?" Sally couldn't contain her frustration any longer. "I was robbed," she shouted. "I spent the whole night waiting for this Great Pumpkin when I could have been out for tricks and treats. Halloween is over and I missed it," she pointed at Linus. "You kept me up all night waiting for the Great Pumpkin, and all that came was a beagle." So can you guess what that dark shadow was? that was in the pumpkin patch. She's not happy. At this point, she's fed up. She's done. She's missed out on candy. She hadn't made it to the party. She's been sitting in her garden spot with this little fella right here who passed out when he saw a shadow. As Sally left, Linus called after her. "It won't be long now," he said. "The great pumpkin comes. I'll still put in a good word for you." Linus gasped and said, "If..." He started to doubt the great pumpkin too. The hours ticked by. After a while, Linus fell asleep. He was shivering under his blanket when Lucy came out to get him in the very early hours of the morning to tuck him into bed. Oh. His sister showed up. He fell asleep and it got cold. The baby got cold. Later that day, Charlie Brown and Linus met up. "Well, another Halloween has come and gone," said Charlie Brown. "I don't understand it. I went trick-or-treating, and all I got was a bag full of rocks." Charlie Brown looked at his friend. "I suppose you spent all night in the pumpkin patch, and the great pumpkin never showed up." "Nope," said Linus. "Don't take it too hard, Linus," Charlie Brown said. "I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too." Linus furrowed his brows. "Stupid? What do you mean, stupid?" "Just wait till next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see. Next year I'll find a pumpkin patch that's really sincere, and I'll sit in that pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears." This is them talking about life like little kids do. He seems a little upset. No, Linus, right here. Seems a little upset. Charlie Brown still doesn't believe in the great pumpkin. And that's the end. So there we go. Look. That was it. I hope you all enjoyed it.
That was
the story.
Such a great story. Don't cry. It's okay.
I wasn't crying. I got an eyelash in my eye. I swear.
Oh, it's okay. That was so great. I actually sat here and listened the whole time. You did great.
Well, thank you. I like to act out all the parts, especially Lucy. I feel like there's a little bit of Lucy in here.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm kind of Charlie Brown sometimes, I think.
So maybe we can get together and I'll pull the football out from under you.
That'll work, right? Oh my gosh, I hope you all enjoyed this today. I did. It was a great story. Thank you so much, Cherilyn, for sharing the story with us.
I had a blast, and like I said, it is one of my favorites, and I hope it's one of you guys' favorites too. And hopefully you'll catch it on TV, because it does come on TV every year.
I'm sure they would, and I think there's several kids that probably read along with you, because I know several had their own books, and they were going to have it ready.
Fantastic. I got this one, and I was so happy when it came out, because I haven't been able to find like a hardback copy of it. So when I got it, I was like, Storytime. I called it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. We're going to end the broadcast. And listen, everybody, please share this. Check out rosedynasty.org and all of our events. Cherilyn and I have some great events coming up. We got paint night next Friday night in like 5 days.
Oh my gosh, is it that soon?
Yeah, it's going to be in 5 days.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited. We're going to
be a good time.
Oh, and you're going to teach us to paint some really cool painting again. I know
We're going to do some spooky painting.
It's going to be spooky things. I love it.
It won't be scary though, because I'm a big chicken. So
yeah, Miss
Cherilyn. Spooky, but not too spooky.
Yeah, not scary spooky, just spooky. I like that. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I love you all. And don't forget, your love, accepted, and wanted. Thank you, Cherilyn. And we'll see everybody real soon. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Happy Halloween.